I recently did a test on the Speer Gold Dots 250 grain 45 Colt from the Raging Judge Magnum, and I found them to be absolutely perfect. Just picture perfect example of what you want from a large caliber, deep penetrating, great expanding bullet. And immediately the question started rolling in. Yeah, that did great from the big long 6.5-inch barrel, but how would it do from everybody's favorite little concealed carry judge, the public defender with its little snubby 2-inch barrel? And the answer is, I don't know. How will it do? I mean, you'd think that gold dots are gold dots, but that's a big difference in barrel. And the velocity coming out of the Raging Judge was pretty slow. The slowest one I had was 700 feet per second, and the average is about 744. So there's not really a lot of room for error. I mean, how much slower can the bullets go and still work? Well, let's find out if out of the 2-inch barrel of the public defender, they still retain enough velocity to expand and penetrate deeply. So I've got the clear ballistics gel, I got the gold dots, got the public defender. We're going to go to the range and find out how they do. The gold dots from the public defender, a mixed bag. We did have 3 bullets that stayed right in the proper range. Shortest at 13 inches, one at 15, and one at 15.5. And those are all good. But then we had 2 that did not meet the standard. One of them was barely over. It was 18.25. And then one of them went all the way to 23.75. Now, I'm just talking about penetration here. You know, if you were having to rely on this, at least they didn't underpenetrate. That said, I cannot recommend the gold dots from the public defender. The recovered bullets from the 2-inch barrel public defender don't look very promising. I got 3 that didn't expand whatsoever. One that tried, and coincidentally, this was the fastest. Well, I guess not coincidentally. Obviously, this was the fastest of the bullets at 675 feet per second. This one here thought about considering expanding, and it was the second fastest at 647. The others, I mean, this one had thoughts that it might entertain, but in general, it's a tube. Now, here's the interesting thing about 45s, or whether it's interesting or not. They don't really need to expand in order to still be a big bullet, but even so, I mean, compare to what we got out of the Raging Judge. This is a picture-perfect, fantastic performing bullet. And it wasn't that much faster. It was at about 700 feet per second that we got that. Again, this one was the fastest of the public defenders, and we got 647, so it's right below the threshold. So that's the difference that a barrel makes. All right, we got our answer, and our answer is don't use the gold dots in the public defender. They just did not perform well. And that's really kind of interesting because this is a great example of what I've been saying in my other short barrel tests, is that you can't just take an ammo test at face value. You can't look at somebody's test of a certain round and say, that's a great round, I'll use that in my gun, because unless it was tested from a comparable barrel size and delivered comparable velocity, then the results are not necessarily going to be comparable. They may, but they may be very different. And the difference we got from the Raging Judge to the public defender is huge. In the Raging Judge, we got an average of 744 approximately feet per second. Every bullet expanded. They all penetrated deeply. It was picture perfect, textbook perfection. But from the shorter barrel gun, we got an average of about 630 feet per second, much slower. We got incorrect expansion. I mean, we got 1 that came close and 3 that didn't even try. We got vast over-penetration. We got basically generally lousy performance. Exact same ammunition, but the velocity makes a big difference. When you're evaluating ammo, and if you're looking at somebody's tests, like mine or anyone else's, to determine whether that ammo is suitable for your pistol, you got to know what barrel length they used and what velocity they got and how your pistol would perform with that in order to know whether their results, those test results, are going to be applicable to your situation. So I'm glad that the community badgered me to rerun the test in the public defender because it's a great illustrating point. And basically, there are a lot of great defensive rounds you can use in a public defender to deliver a tremendous effective man-stopping hit. But the Gold Dots are not one of them. Save those for your bigger barrels. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you found this enjoyable. If you liked it, please hit the like button and hit subscribe, and you'll be notified when new videos are posted.